that are not funny to be there. I'm joking. I am joking.
Okay, yes,
cool.
thank God.
Guys,
He's joking. He's joking. So no, man. You know what we used to do is every Wednesday we would just meet up, go to UT Arts Campus in Pretoria, and then there maybe before what we call rehearsals. We call rehearsals because we'd come up with 3 new jokes or 3 new ideas, concepts that we'd like to speak about. On stage, but they're not polished or whatever. So guys, all 5 of us would listen to one another, take notes and everything, and then afterwards we would scrutinize your set. For literally 20 minutes, we'd speak about your material, we'd speak about we'd speak about, and also you used to, I remember at that show, you did this, you did that, try not to do this. We would mentor one another. It was a mentorship sort of thing. And it worked out very, very, very well.
That's why we have guys like you now in the industry.
Yeah, well, I guess. But so structures like that genuinely are not there. What I've seen a lot with comedy, man, it's a sad thing sometimes, You would perform, you would tell a joke, and then there'd be someone would say, Isan, comedians have that thing, you can't help it. Isan, if that guy could just use this, take that'd be a powerful joke. But then you'd never go and tell your fellow comedian to say, hey, dude, try this, try that. Or maybe you'd be so scared to tell this guy that he'd say, I don't need you. I don't need your advice.
Okay,
I've written my material.
There's one thing that I wanted to ask to people, to comedians. I don't know which, I didn't know when who's the perfect guy to ask it. I'm going to ask you. Okay. Do you feel like sometimes joke, let's say if Khaya is doing this joke, like if Masbono could do this joke, let's say pass a joke to someone. We're not joking, but if I could pass this joke to VR6, he would like kill it.
I think that's how then you become a very wise, a very mature comedian when you do that. When you say, I think and I believe that this joke is more relevant for this person's stage persona. VR6, a friend of mine, on the whole panzola thing, VR6, Fusi VR6. If I come up with a joke, yas panzola, whatever, not in my wisdom, I should say, Emma Peleman, because it's most relevant to that guy. It's got more truth and relevance for that guy. Let me see if he can do it. Will he work with it or not? You know what I mean? And again, obviously, he has to use it. If he doesn't use it, we're not very savvy.
Okay, guys, cool. Fine, you give him that joke. Do you think Maupelelo somewhere Lego will take your joke back? Like, I want my joke. You've been killing with my joke. You've been making money with my joke.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Now you're trading on another, joke taking, joke bartering.
I'm going there.
Trust me, I've exchanged jokes with friends. I've literally exchanged jokes with friends, especially when we were young. You're another comedy society, for instance. There were certain situations where, hey, dude, take this joke, let me take yours. You know what I mean? One thing I've seen, and I'm glad that as the comedy society, when it was still there, it was still formalized and everything like that, we didn't do it a lot, where as comedians, if we hang out a whole lot in a group and everything like that, we tend to use joke A1 between the 3 of us, you know what I mean? All the time, there's 1 or 2 jokes that we use, Okay, phone like, yo man, I use this joke tonight. I don't think you can use it. You can use it wherever. Okay. Oh, come on. Like I'm black hole, mama below. Case Spanish. So I eat if yeah, sure, as far.
Someone did your jokes.
Yeah, all the time, man. People tell me, yo, man, you can't stop people from using your jokes. If they're gonna use it, they're gonna use it. Unless, of course, as you know, there's a wonderful, great comedian who did something to another wonderful, great comedian. On stage. On stage, yeah. But that was a long time ago. Things happened a long time ago.
I think that needs to come back. If someone would go and say, Kamalam Gubanban Dimbi, my man. Okay, I'm with you.
Cool. Then you have to think about it. Apparently, there were, I remember, maybe 2-3 years back, there was a debacle about Kimang outwitting the phrase or the use of the word futek. Apparently, utsere futek yaka futek. I want to know, why don't we ask the futek where the futek wants to go? We should ask the futek. I feel like we should look at it
as the sounds of futek. How do you futek your futek?
Yeah,
If your futek comes in like futek.
Yeah, or the mapurisa futek.
Okay, let me just be honest with you. Me, I feel like I can't use the word ikakaya because CSA has actually stamped that I can't do
It's
that.
become his identity in a way.
Yeah, it has become his own identity.
I don't know
Even if
whether
we
that's
are
a
all
compliment
closest.
or not, that Ikaka has become your identity, Sia. I don't
Yes,
know.
Sia, you are doing well with Ikaka.
Yes, with Ikaka.
Stay there.
Stay with the Kaka.
Stay with the Kaka.
Ikaka.
Yeah. So every time I'm on stage, I try by all means not to say, even it's popular in a Xhosa
Yeah, it's a thing.
lingo to say Kaka yako. Now if I say Kaka, you're like, oh, Sia,
It's becoming
Sia,
nice,
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
see.
yeah.
And I don't want to be in Sia's.
And that's in a way you're copying the
I'm
art.
copying Sia.
I mean, more comedians,
He's
you
doing
gotta
very
be
well. He's
original.
doing
You gotta
very
be
well.
original. Yeah, you gotta
Even
be original.
let's say, okay, who else is from Pitori? And okay, let me just be honest with you. You see those Berry boys? They all sound like Papajo in some way. They come up with Marajo. We know Marajo, ke mang motho wa Marajo.
Marao, Papa. Yeah, they do. But one thing, I'm not saying this because maybe he's a friend, you know. One of the comedians, Baba Pedi, that have really detached from that brand and has always detached from the look-alike brand, Mashabela. Tapelo, actually.
Tapelo. King Flat, yeah.
He actually doesn't sound like a Pedi comedian.
He doesn't.
He sounds like Tapelo King Flat.
Tapelo King Flat,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Which is what I like. I like it. I admire that a lot, actually. You know, I think also it's not an insult for a lot of guys. Maybe they aspire to do comedy or whatever, like Mashabela, Papa, and stuff. It is a compliment. It's their point of reference. Remember, in America, what had happened was Richard Pryor used to do comedy like Bill Cosby because that was his first point of reference until he broke out into himself, the flower he is and everything like that. You know what I mean? It's just like singing. You do cover versions in a way until someone comes and tells you, hey man, that's whoever's gag, you gotta let it go.
Cover versions
And
of
then,
my gags.
you know what I mean? And then you let
Okay,
them.
man,
I've seen a lot of comedians do that have been doing cover versions,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you see them maybe after 6 months, okay, this person has found their feet. Someone maybe sat them down and told them, this style, you need to, and it's not about you're gonna take that person's business. No one's going to book you because you sound like that person. Or it's because of you. When as a comedian, do you want to edge yourself as a comedian, or don't you want to edge yourself? One of the ways that you wedge yourself into the industry is being creative.
so far ever. My man, I keep on wasting now.
Okay, cool.
I want us to talk about T media concept.
Concepts are us. Team media.
Yeah, I didn't want to read that.
Concepts are us.
Just tell us briefly. Tell us what's happening here.
Multiracial. Concepts are us.
So tell us what's happening here.
What's happening?
We have guys. We take our jobs very seriously. Look at this. Look at this. Kia now. This is Tsekedi, guys. This is not VR6. This is Tsekedi.
Or whoever. Or whoever. You know, VR6 is a friend.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, I want to say thank God for the concept.
Yeah.
This thing has been there for a long while. It started off 2007. Before I even started comedy, I've always been into business. As a kid, I used to sell discopas, dude. I'm from Mafikeng originally. I used to sell discopas. I even sold... Yeah, I even sold... Dog, I sold Double HP. Double HP used to come to my neighborhood. I sold him discopas, man.
Yes, you had to mention Double HP in that.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Bukoni Bupiri, my boy, Northwest.
Baripula. Okay, not today.
So,
Stop.
yeah, it was though. But no, Team Media is a media company.
Yeah.
It's a concept generating company. We generate concepts along the lines of communication.
Okay.
At the moment, what Team Media is doing is we are a supplier of the NYDA, National Youth Development Agency. As a NYDA, they've got a few beneficiaries. These beneficiaries, let's say for instance, you've got a business. As a beneficiary, you are under 35. You can go to the NYDA and say, guys, I need a voucher. I need 1 or 4 of your 10 vouchers. You can choose marketing, accounting services for a space of 3 to 6 months. You can get a website as a voucher sort of holder, and we give out public relations and marketing vouchers. Sort of anybody can say, oh wow, really? Can I choose 4 vouchers? May I please choose Team Media to do my PR and everything?
Okay.
So that's what we do. We do strategic communications for beneficiaries to NYDA. And also what I've been doing for the past 2 years or so is I've been writing a lot of media releases, doing a lot of publicity for stand-up comedy shows.
Okay.
A lot of the vernacular Vernac comedy shows, especially, there's no media or publicity, active publicity that's being done, like writing a media release, da 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 da. I mean, I've done work for Tabang ER on ER What, Salesman on his one-man show. I wrote a media release as well. Homecoming, there was a media release that I wrote as well. I got them some publicity on your Power FM, on African News Network. At the moment, what's happening is I'm doing some PR for the Zoo. The comedy at the Zoo.
You'll be performing there.
I'm also going to be performing there. Come through, ladies and gentlemen. February. 1st of February. It's going to be dope.
There.
Yeah, you're going to be there also.
But so I'm not there. I'm just not going to be like, no, many more. I'm just going to be like,
no, he's there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. I've got a passion for really pushing, especially, the Vernac comedy. I know that it doesn't have that structure. No, it's got that thing, definitely. But it didn't have that structured media release, taking up the format. You'd see that maybe more your non-Vernac comedy and everything like that. That's another topic for another day. Non-Vernac comedy, but essentially, comedians sometimes we don't have the liberty, the funds, the money to say, hey man, I actually do need a media release from a PR company, or hey man, I want this, I want that. And because I'm a comedian, I know the challenges. I can actually speak with comedians and say, okay, cool, let's work out a communication strategy that can suit your budget.
You're so brilliant, bro. You're so brilliant. You're so good. Wait,
I actually did public relations and advertising, and that's why I did drama as well during this game. So
I get it. Sometimes now better because end up so
No. I didn't study drama formally. I just did it in drama society. So at the moment, what we're doing as T Media is we've decided to actually this year go out on a limb and say to all stand-up comedians, there's going to be a criteria that we're going to follow, obviously.
Funny stand-up comedians.
There must be a criteria. There must be a criteria that we're going to follow, that we're going to look at, and you must adhere to as a stand-up comedian. Every stand-up comedian in the year 2020, if you'd like to do your one-man show, and you've got your one-man show, you've got your post out, you've booked a venue, you just need a press release. We are willing to actually write a press release for you.
Services for free. I'm doing my one-man show this year.
Okay, maybe Khaya Mdaka. Yes, there we go.
For $9.99.
Yes, there we go. So, there's no such thing as a free lunch, if you know. And as a comedian, you should know that. Because I think comedians are smart, too. Comedians are some of the smartest people. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Obviously, there will be some form of, but it's going to be at a very, very minimal cost. And I believe that any and every comedian who'd want to do the one-man show will obviously say, yeah, sure, this is something I'd like to go for. Just write a media release. And obviously, if you have media connections, you can disperse and distribute the media release yourself. If you don't, then T Media PR could obviously do that for you.
That's too good. Because I don't want to lie to you. Talent in South Africa needs business. There are a lot of guys that are exploited outside there. There are a lot of guys who don't have the business thingy. Because let me say this. I'm gonna say this. Who's this guy? Jumaima. Stop nonsense.
Man, nice hustle.
He said this other time to me. We were backstage in Taboo. He said, "How can you be a genius but still act as a slave? I mean, if you can make more than 5 people laugh, you're a genius, bro. But still, you can accept
make them laugh at a go, as and when they say make them laugh, go, and then you can make them laugh. That's something else. Not everyone can do that.
Bro.
No, I know what you mean. That's why comedians are very, very intelligent people. I always like to tell comedians, guys, get your own company. Try to get your own company. Try to create business for yourselves. If you want the big bucks, trust you me, the big bucks are gonna come because a big client says, yes, sure, we're gonna take your services, but we can't give you 50,000 rands.
Yeah.
We need to see whether you've got a legitimate business.
It looks like cool.
You know?
It looks like we're running out of time, guys. Yeah, you see, this year we don't just do things. We look at the time frame and everything gets to be going down with Tsekedi Bafetu. Thank you for coming to this podcast, Bafetu. Thank you guys for tuning in again and again. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following us. And I don't with thinking. What's a question I want? Last one.
God has blessed me with some money, yes.
Okay, cool. That was us. We are done. Renali Chalet. Yes. Tune in again. Yes, bye bye.